laptop and in front of the camera. Welcome on 28th, oh my goodness, 28th of Jan 2024. Welcome to the first live stream after our winter holidays. We've been away, but we are back to our caravan. So please give this video a like, it's super important, and remember that if you can't be with me live tonight, you can still comment and you can still watch the stream afterwards. So if it's your first time here, my name is Kat and I've been living and working on a caravanning site in the UK for the last 5 years, and that's the topic of my channel, that's the content of my videos. In my videos I talk about what it's like to live and work on a caravanning site in the UK, what it's like to live on a campsite and have a campsite job. So there are ups and downs, there are adventures and challenges, there is beauty of this lifestyle, but also some difficult situations. So I talk about everything in my video. I don't believe in sugar coating. I present stuff and my life as it is. Hi Graham and welcome. Welcome back to our caravan. It's been a while. Recently I've been away on my winter holiday, and some of you may be wondering why I went on a holiday on my own without Marek and without Diesel. Well, we have an older dog who doesn't travel very well. So hi Sue, here's the doggy who is 12, and for the last few years we've been traveling separately with my husband, which is not ideal, but is better than nothing, I believe. I will tell you all about it today because I have quite mixed feelings about my Tenerife holiday. I'm not sure I will ever go on my own again without Marek. To cut a long story short, it's amazing that my body was on Tenerife, but my mind was here in a caravan, especially when I was hearing from Marek while I was listening to stories about storms and frost and horrible weather and high winds. It's not easy to relax even if you're under a beautiful palm tree and you sip a lovely drink in the sun, but if your other half is enduring difficult times, and it was the same for me when Marek was away on Tenerife and I was here on my own with Diesel in a caravan, it was really difficult, and I bet he felt the same, maybe not. So I have a few snaps for you to show you. I have a few holiday photos to show you, and don't worry, only 700 of them. Hi, we're Carmel. So I hope you have a lot of time and you've got a drink. After spending a week in the sun, I dehydrated myself a little bit, so I'm sipping water. There was a lot of sunbathing as well, so I need to restock and refill water. Right, so the first photo, I have a photo. Would you like to see some holiday snaps I prepared for you? So in photo number 1, and Marek will show you photo number 1. This is one of my favorite photos. This is taken very early. It was the second day of our holiday. Can you see it? Oh, can you see me all right? And can you hear me okay? Hi Vasi and Steve and welcome. So everyone, if you've just joined, please give this video a like. It's super important for us. If you give this video a like, we know you are with us and you like the live stream. And please take part in the chat. That's the whole idea behind this live stream. So you can log into YouTube. Please log in and take part in our chat. You can write a message, you can write greetings, you can write whatever you like, as long as it's kind and nice and positive, and I will respond to it. So can you see photo number 1? I called it Anaga Gang. It was taken on the second day of our holiday. So the first day, of course, we spent on the beach. And you may be surprised when you look at our clothes, because it's amazing how different is the weather on Tenerife. And between south, sunny south, and hilly and very humid and wet North Tenerife, the temperature difference may be even 15 degrees. So at that time in the south you could sunbathe, you could swim in the sea. It was scorching hot. It was mid-20s. By the time we got to Anaga Mountain Park, the temperature dropped to probably plus 15. So we are dressed up a little bit, wearing our jumpers and hoodies, and this was one of my favorite days of our holiday, because I always wanted to go and see the mountains in the north of Tenerife. We have a base in the south because that's where the sun is, that's where all the touristy hotspots are. It's the south. But yeah, the girls are back in town, or back in the mountains, back in the middle of nowhere. But I always wanted to go and see Anaga Mountain Park, and it is absolutely amazing and beautiful. We only got to the edge of the park because it took us over an hour to get there, and over an hour to get to the first trail. But I would love to come back. I would need better shoes and my crew would need better fitness to explore the park more. But it is just such an amazing place, Anaga Mountain Park. So this was a viewpoint which we reached from the car park. It's literally the edge of the park, and you could spend weeks exploring the trails. It's absolutely beautiful and quiet. It's quiet. And in photo number 2, which you will see in a minute, and I'm not sure you can see it very well, you can see the detail, but this is the trail. This is the trail we took, and of course I had to talk to the maintenance staff who were working on it. But pay attention, can you see you've got the main trail, and on the side you've got trench for water, because when it starts to rain in mountains on Tenerife, it's really heavy. And I was just admiring their work, and of course I had to stop and talk to them and say that I do a similar work in the UK on a campsite. But I was really impressed with how tidy the trail was kept. So can you see the piles of leaves? There was a whole group of workers, of maintenance staff, who were sweeping leaves and clearing branches and basically keeping the trail in a tip-top condition. So hats off to them. We thank them for their hard work, and we just admire the beautiful trail. So it was really nice, really nice. And there are different trails in Anaga Mountains. Some of them were super easy, and that's what I chose for us, because I was there with my mom and my mother-in-law and 2 friends, and only 2 people were actually able to navigate the more challenging hikes. But we were there as a group, and we chose an easy route so that everyone could enjoy it. So that was the first day. That was the second day actually of our holiday. And actually, are you interested in this? Because I keep going on and on about my time on Tenerife, but are you interested? Do you actually care? Do you want to see photo number 3? In the photo number 3, this is the place, this is a local place for lunch, which we found in a beautiful town, Sant Cristobal de Laguna in North Tenerife. So after walking for a little bit in Anaga Mountain Park, we wanted to try some local food, and it's quite amazing. And again, a clear division between south and north of Tenerife. You will not see and you will not find much local food and authentic Canarian cuisine in the south, because south is dominated, I'm really sorry the Brits, but it's dominated by Sunday roast and English breakfast and fish and chips. So in the touristy places, hello Damian, oh yeah, at least 2 people are interested, so off we go with another 300 photos. So I couldn't really find authentic Canarian food in the south where we were staying, so we had to venture up north to find some local cuisine. Okay, what are you cooking, Vasi? What are you cooking? So this is a place we found in Laguna, and they served local food and no one spoke English, so I had to use my basic Spanish to order food and translate the menu for my friends. And you can see what I ordered in photo number 4. So one of our friends really wanted fish without bones, without are they called bones? Do fish have bones? And I was trying to explain it to the waiter that one of us really need a fillet without any bones. And in the result, I got fish without bones and my friend got fish with bones. So this is an example of a typical Canarian meal. So there is fish with mushrooms. There are some mussels, huge prawns, and what you see on the stick are free. Yeah, you could think probably Elena will say, oh, nothing special, just potatoes. But these are Canarian potatoes cooked in very salty water. They are cooked with their skin on in very salty water, and normally they are even whiter than what you can see in the photo. And they are served with 2 veggie sauces, green and red. So this was quite a nice meal, but it was super salty. And after I had a white t-shirt, and after eating prawns, and you know, after well, you can't eat prawns with fork and a knife, you have to use your fingers to remove the hard bit. So by the time I finished with those enormous prawns, I had 4 of them, my t-shirt, my white t-shirt, had a lot of stains because all the sauce from prawns was on my t-shirt. Of course I didn't think about covering it up. Cooking chicken Kiev, that sounds interesting. Do you like seafood? And does anyone like seafood? If you like seafood, Tenerife is the place to go. There is so much of seafood and it is cheap, really, and fresh fish is cheap as well. And of course we had some wine, and in photo number 5 you can see me with a beautiful cabinet. I wish we had a cabinet like that in our caravan. And probably if we got rid of our fridge, we could fit something like that in our caravan. So the whole restaurant was really beautiful, and they had local wines and local fish, and I could stay there for a week. Marek prefers Kiev's than seafood. I love seafood, absolutely love it, and I don't mind that you have to play with it, and I don't mind that my t-shirt gets dirty. It's really nice. It's really nice. I'm not a fish eater, more red meat person. Well, there was plenty of meat. There was plenty of meat as well. So this second day was really full on because we went to the mountains, which were an hour away. Then we went to explore the town, Saint Cristobal de Laguna. And in photo number 6, you can see, well, it was taken on 16th of January. That was the central like piazza in Laguna, and you can see Christmas decorations. No one is rushing to remove them. You know, everyone has time. No one is rushing to do any work. So I was quite shocked that Christmas decorations were still up. Are they up where you are? Are Christmas decorations still there? They were removing Christmas lights in Ilfracombe, in our local town, just maybe 2 weeks, a few days before my departure to Tenerife. So I was surprised. They do it quite late. They left it late. So there are 6 of you watching me. Hello. So if you've just joined me, welcome. This is a live stream from our caravan in North Devon. I live in this caravan for most of the year. Here is my dog. You may be wondering how on earth I managed to. If you've just joined, please say hello. Give this video a like. Don't be mean. Just 3 likes for now, honestly. And 6 people are watching. So, oh, 6. That's better. That's better. Thank you very much. I can see now you are listening. you are listening to what I'm saying. So the next step is to take part in chat. You can see the top chat on the side of your screen, and say hi. Say hi, please say hi, so I know you are with me. I know you are watching. I know I didn't bore you to death. So the next stop on our trip around the north was a beautiful, and this is photo number 7, and we found a beautiful botanic garden which is about 200 years old, and it was, the name of this place was Orotava Garden, but it was actually in Puerto de la Cruz, about 30 kilometers outside Orotava. I don't know why it has Orotava in its name, because it was miles from the town of Orotava, which is also very beautiful. We visited it last time. We didn't go to Orotava this year, but we went the year before. So what you can see in this photo is an enormous 200-year-old ficus, I believe it's called. So in Poland they are kept at home as house plants, and they grow probably that big. So this is a 200-year-old plant, and it's so old that it grew roots. You can see those branches, they look like branches, but these are actually roots which the tree grew to support itself. So the plant is so clever that as it was aging and getting super heavy and super big, it was absolutely enormous. I'm not sure the photo actually shows the scale, but it was super huge, enormous, and I just couldn't believe in the wisdom of this tree, that as it was, you know, getting heavy, it thought, oh, actually I could grow some roots towards the ground and support myself. So this is like a scaffold, like a natural scaffolding. Absolutely amazing. So we spent some time around this botanic garden. The entrance was only €3, sorry, and it was just such a beautiful afternoon. I have one more photo from this place. It's photo number 8, where you could see me, my mum and my cousin. So it's in front of the pond. There, I think there was also fish, like red fish, and it was such a beautiful place. I really recommend it. It's not a huge place. It wasn't commercial at all, which was very refreshing, because south of Tenerife is dominated by mass tourism, and everything is quite full on in the south. So if you want to relax and you want to avoid hordes of tourists and super overpriced tourist attractions, I would say have a base in the north. Yeah, it will be a bit cooler, it will be a bit colder. There's only one beach with golden sand, but it's much calmer and accommodation is cheaper, and in my opinion there are far more interesting things to do in the north than in the south. But yeah, south has better weather. That's why most of people prefer south, and that's why my mums preferred south as well, because they like to spend their days on the beach when they are on a holiday. But I managed to drag them out and about on this day and explore the north a little bit. So if you are going on a holiday, or maybe you've been to Tenerife already, have you stayed in the south or in the north? Or if you have this, hopefully you will have an opportunity to visit in the future, would you prefer a hot touristy south with bars, nightlife and beaches and parties, or more natural, a bit colder but a bit greener north? These are like two islands, and during our stay we really couldn't believe that each town, as we were traveling around Tenerife, and one day, on this day when we went to the mountains, we circled the whole island from south to north and back. So we circled the whole island in one day. It took us about probably 2.5 hours of driving to drive around the whole Tenerife. so it's not a huge island. But what I didn't appreciate was that there was the fact that the two stretches of highway, they don't meet. And there is a gap of probably about 40 kilometers where there is no highway, and you have to navigate very narrow and very bendy mountain roads. And the difference, the contrast between the touristy south and generally the areas where there is a highway, where there is a highway on Tenerife, where there is autopista, there is tourism, there is trade, there are hotels and resorts. The moment the highway ends, just outside Puerto de la Cruz, you can see authentic local life, which unfortunately means poverty. So when the highway ended, we saw villages and towns forgotten by big business and by big tourism. And honestly, I felt like I was driving in South America. It felt like driving on some back roads in Colombia or Brazil or Ecuador maybe, and you could see that those towns and villages were really, really poor and neglected. They are building tunnel now to fill that gap, yeah, because when you look at the map of Tenerife, they're like this, the highway makes the U letter shape, but it's not closed. I wish it was O. So I thought, oh, we only have like 40 kilometers of highway. This will be easy. This is just a short stretch. But I really didn't appreciate the difficulty of the terrain. And I was driving in either first gear to climb up or the second gear to slow down when we were going downhill. But luckily we had a rental car, and the car was in a good condition. And it didn't fall apart in the middle of nowhere. It was a bit of a risky drive. And Marek told me off for taking mums for such a risky rendezvous, but we made it safely home. Graham, I think a base in the sun and travel out to see history, beauty of the place. Yes, that's what we did. Vasi, besides tourism, have health teachers? What job do people have? Well, of course there are, you know, all kinds of businesses, but tourism and hospitality is probably the biggest sector. And when you were walking down the street, you could see, like, it was a bit like on a cruise ship. You could see either the guests or the staff serving the guests. So you could see tourists, actually maybe free, building and maintenance. Oh my goodness. I don't want to talk about construction and investments and development on Tenerife. I think pretty soon this will be all over media, because what's happening there is literally wild west. If you have money, you can build anything, anywhere, and no one is bothered about the environment, about impact on local people, about impact on nature, pollution, and so on. Anyway, I will not even start. So Vasi, you could, we were walking around, we could actually see three groups of people: tourists on holiday, staff, hotel and restaurant staff in uniforms, either rushing to work or rushing home from their shifts, and you could see local Canarian people who are either fishing or maybe doing a bit of farming. There is quite a lot of agriculture happening on the island. We were eating local bananas. They grow a bit of oranges. In the north there are vineyards. They make their own wine. Beautiful and huge banana farms. But Canarian bananas are quite small. Oh, absolutely delicious. But they are quite small, and I don't think they are sold outside the Canary Islands, and so cheap. Oranges, I don't think they grow much oranges. Maybe in the north they import most of their fruit and veg from Spain, and when we wanted to buy vegetables for soup, like root vegetables, there were hardly any. But tomatoes, I think that there was quite a lot of tomatoes as well. I think they grew quite a lot of tomatoes. We had some amazing tomatoes. So food was one of the highlights of this holiday. They also do too small, yeah. And it's a shame because they were absolutely delicious. I didn't try banana booze, but we went through 14 kilograms of oranges. So there were 4 of us, and in a week we have eaten 14 kilograms of oranges and probably about 5 kilograms of local bananas, and I would say 5 kilograms of fish and seafood. So in photo number 9, you can see the place where we were staying. We were staying in the area called Golf del Sur. Do young people move abroad? I think many young people move to Tenerife to either work or start their own business. There are many self-employed people, and when you are employed you don't earn that much, you know, in relation to prices, because I think the national minimum wage in Spain, and Tenerife is still Spain, is 1,500 euros, and this is basically the cost of rent of a 2-bedroom flat. So it's quite tough for people living there. But still, they have many migrant workers who come to work in tourism, maybe just for the season, and they probably live in shared houses, because housing for locals, housing for people who live on Tenerife is of course a huge challenge and a huge problem, because people who have whatever property, they rent it to tourists and make a lot of money. And it's a real struggle to rent an apartment long term if you want to live on Tenerife. Yeah, so apartment, believe it or not, we were staying in a 1-star hotel. But instead of rooms, there were apartments. So we were staying in a 1-star apartment, and I took a video. I have a video for you, Sue, because you asked for it, of our apartment. I had a bit of a problem with sharing it today, but I think we will create a tiny short, and we will just publish it on our YouTube channel. So this is the outside. This is what we could see from our roof. Tourism seems to be a two-edged sword, absolutely everywhere, and especially in Spain, where there isn't such awareness and concern about impact of tourism long term. It seems that, you know, whoever is in charge, they only think about what's happening today and this year, and they don't think beyond, you know. So unfortunately, we've seen quite aggressive developments, and it's heartbreaking to see a plot where they are either building new apartments or a beautiful hotel, or they have just finished a new hotel, because we noticed we were staying in the same area a year before, and after a year we came back and we saw loads of new flats and loads of new developments, and it seems that every single inch of land is built on close to the coast. And what they do there, once the building is finished, they just shift all the rubbish and rubble on the plot, on the empty plot. So it was quite normal to, you know, walk down the promenade, and here you've got the sea, beautiful restaurants, beautiful apartments and hotels, and in the middle of this you will have an empty plot with either abandoned cars or building site rubbish, abandoned in the middle of a resort. So at least that was the case in Golf del Sur, which is where we were staying, and I didn't see it in Costa Adeje, which is much more luxurious area and much more expensive area. So what you see in photo number 9, I hope you can still see it, it's a sunrise over the pool we were sharing with other residents. However, there were not many people and it was pretty quiet, and whenever we went to sit by the pool we were the only ones. So it's not too bad for a 1-star place. And I would say that the garden and the pool, I would give this probably 3 or 4 stars. Yeah, the apartment was pretty basic, but it was okay. It was clean-ish. And staff was absolutely amazing. Whatever we needed, and we had some unusual requests because I asked for blankets. You don't get a duvet in Spain, even in winter. They kind of give you tiny, thin, flimsy bedspreads, and I want a proper duvet. I know there will be no chance for a duvet, so I asked for blankets. We got blankets, and there were 4 of us, and we were cooking at home. We were cooking with this amazing produce we could buy there, and we were short of pots, so we asked for extra cooking pots, which were probably 2 of the most unusual requests the staff heard in a long time, but they honored it and we got what we wanted. Yeah, so this was a sunrise. This was taken from the roof where I was exercising in the mornings. Really nice place, really beautiful. And that's why I like Golf del Sur, and I chose Golf del Sur because it's famous for its gardens and greenery, and it's not like that everywhere on the island. Right. And in photo number 10 you can see the pool. You can see our pool. I think it's me swimming. And in the photo number 10A you can see sunrise by the pool, another sunrise, and even more of our garden. So we had a tiny patio in front of our apartment. We also have a roof terrace, so we had plenty of outdoor space. Right. And what we really liked about the location and the neighborhood was the fact that there was live music. And in photo 11 you can see us enjoying live music in Golf del Sur, and you can see beautiful sunset in the background. Yeah, summer dresses for an evening gig. That wouldn't happen in the UK in January. To be honest, we were not so concerned about photos. Probably if Marek was with us, he would have taken better photos, but we just wanted to catch moments. So we were really lucky because there was an artist who was doing a tribute, a Michael Bublé tribute, a charmer who was an absolute hit with the mums who fell in love with his charms. So they really liked. I enjoyed the show too. He was really good, and a few days later he came and did the show by our pool because there was a bar next to our pool as well, so we could enjoy the show from our balcony. And in photo number 12 you can see something super interesting which tells a lot about how things are done on Tenerife. So this is a new promenade we discovered, and last year they just finished building it. So last year we couldn't, actually we heard of it, but we didn't walk that way last year. And we found this beautiful coastal walk by pure accident because we were at the end of it, and from our end it was absolutely invisible. There was no information, no signs, nothing. There was literally no clue. We had no clue that we have it on our doorstep. And one day we were wandering around the area and we found the other end of the route, and we walked home, and we had no idea that we could walk home by the coast. So this beautiful walk runs behind the hotels, and it's absolutely separated from the rest of the neighborhood because hotels are like chock-a-block side to side. So all the areas, there is no way to take a shortcut from this walk, you know, midway and go back to town. So you have to start at either ends. And one end is so obscured that we 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 couldn't find it on the next day. We wanted to walk it in the opposite direction, and we had problems with finding the beginning of it. So it was a lovely walk. This is a sunset over Golf del Sur, but again, it's something built for the enjoyment of hotel guests, which are, you know, close to the sea in the first line, and the rest of the people can either find it or not. And it just seemed such a waste that it's not, there are no signs to it. It's kind of hidden. So if you happen to stay in a hotel right next to it, you will know about it. But if you don't, you will have no idea it's there, because it runs behind the hotels, and it runs for 7 kilometers. Yeah, so a bit like posh coast path in the UK, but kind of, you know, kept quiet. So we had some nice walks down this route, and we could watch some beautiful hotels from the back, and in photo 14 you can see a tiny garden which we found there, and those rocks are lava rocks from the volcano area from Teide National Park, which is quite interesting. And in photo number 15 you can see one of those massive hotels by the sea, and the walk around the back. So things like that, you know, make me angry. Probably Vasi, you feel the same, you know, that there is such a wonderful walk which is hidden, and no one cares whether it's accessible or visible to the wider community, and even for tourists staying in this area. If you don't see it from your hotel window, you wouldn't know it's there, with only 2 entrance points. Absolutely ridiculous. Our daughters-in-law are being forced to move due to their neighbors selling, yeah, to developers, yeah. Oh my goodness. Wild, wild west. So it was nice. Like in photo number 16 you can see me smiling. You know, it's a nice place for a holiday, to get away for a week in the sun in January, but I don't think I could live in a place like that. It seemed far too commercial. However, maybe I had a different perspective if I was running a business there and I was making money on tourism and tourists, but I don't know, it just seemed, it's a weird place. It's a typical holiday destination, but I think it would be a bit difficult to live there. However, food, and number 70, this is my breakfast one day. Oh, chorizo sausages, eggs, avocado, olives, cheese and tomatoes. Amazing. Food is a winner. Oh, I have more photos of food. In photo number 18 you can see fish. Oh, thank you very much, Sue. You can see fish, and fresh sea fish was like €8 a kilogram, so a bargain comparing to prices in the UK. Plenty of fish. And in the next photo 19, more seafood, and you can see prices: €7, €12, 5, 6, 4. So it's quite affordable seafood. And in photo number 20, something for Graham, something for meat lovers. That's more like it. Yeah, jamon serrano, ham. No, we didn't buy them. Huge ham. We are impressed how they are cut. They have a special stand, and we saw a charming member of staff in the shop who was cutting this huge ham. He was slicing it by hand with a huge knife. He was just slicing thin slices. It had to take hours, and it was like a ceremony. It was like a ritual, and he was then packing one slice after another for sale. So, are you a fish person or are you a ham person and meat person? We are getting to the end of my photos, so definitely food is a big winner. And you could eat amazing food, and eating out is not expensive. You will probably pay 10-15 euros per meal, especially in the north is much cheaper. Of course, in restaurants by the sea right next to the beach you will pay a bit more, but you could easily find a meal for 10 euros. And in photo number 21 you could see something that looks like a museum. Ham for me. Fish and ham, okay. And oranges and local bananas for me. So in photo number 21 you could see something that you may think is an old house, but these are actually boutique shops in Costa Adeje, quite expensive area. And when we were walking there, we were literally looking at the clothes because t-shirt was like 80 euros, super expensive. And we found, we saw a lady, and I said to my cousin, oh look at this beautiful Spanish woman. And we were admiring a really beautiful woman. She looked like a flamenco dancer. She had a bun on the side of her head, really sleek, smooth, hairstyle, beautiful makeup, black dress, tanned. She looked absolutely amazing, and we were admiring her and saying, oh look, what an example of a typical Spanish beauty. And then we came back to the shop where she was working, and our beautiful Spanish beauty was speaking Russian. It was actually a Russian lady who styled herself to look like a Spanish woman, and she tricked us. So we were laughing. Yeah, was it 80 euros for a t-shirt? But this was like an exclusive area. And towards the end, and in photo number 22, you can see a marina in one of my favorite places on Tenerife. We had to leave our flat by 11 o'clock in the morning, and our flights were in the afternoon. So what I like to do on our last day, and we did it last time as well, I took mums to a tiny village called Las Galletas, and it's a authentic tourism-free village. There isn't much happening there. It's super quiet, and this is an ideal place to just chill before your flight, because it's quiet and lovely, and you can hear Spanish there and you can actually see a bit of local life. And in photo number 22 you could see us enjoying coffee with the sea view in Las Galletas, and this is one of my favorite places. It's in the south, but it's not packed with tourists. It's very quiet, and if you would like to see local people and see what normal life looks like in Tenerife, this is a place to go. And coffee was only 2 euros and not 5.50 like in more touristy areas. So the spread of prices for everything, the range of prices when it comes to accommodation, eating out, even parking, is amazing. So if you want to go to Tenerife and you don't want to break the bank, it's absolutely possible. There are very affordable areas, but you have to be careful where you book. So don't be put off if you find accommodation which is super expensive. Prices are through the roof, because there are areas like that, very popular, very touristy, and literally 5-10 kilometers away you can find something at a reasonable rate. And in the last photo number 23, you can see me and my pilot and our car in the background. So if it wasn't for my mom, I don't think I would manage to drive on Tenerife, between the angry Spaniards who drive with temper. And yeah, driving was a challenge, but we managed. We didn't have any accident, thank you, and we didn't crash the car. No one got hurt, and it was mostly because there were two of us. So I was driving, and my mom was looking at the sat nav, and she was comparing it with the situation on the road, on the ground, because sat nav was not always catching up with the building works happening on Tenerife. And together we managed to cover at least 500 miles in a week. Last time we did twice as much, and our little car served us well. So that was my week on Tenerife. Well, a lot of sightseeing. I didn't show you any beach photos because they were quite indecent, some of them. But we spent a few days on the beach, a few days by the pool, a few days exploring and sightseeing. So we had a really varied stay. It was a nice day. It was a nice day. It was nice for the mums. They really enjoyed themselves, and I kind of felt like my body was there, but my mind was here back home, because I was missing Marek, and I was wondering how they are coping with the storms. And I'm not sure we will do it again. We had a little chat with Marek today. Yeah, it was brilliant, you know, fab. It seems such a perfect holiday. What else would you like? You know, what else could you wish for? Get away to catch some sun in the winter, have amazing food, you know, enjoy the beach, sip a drink under a palm tree. Well, we were missing each other. Were you right on the flight home? Yes, yeah, we were super lucky, Sue, thank you. Because we were coming back, we were flying back on Monday, and it was Sunday, the day before, which was horrendous. And that was the day when flights were either cancelled or diverted to other countries. Like people flying to the UK found themselves in Paris and so on. So luckily, we arrived a day later, and we were okay. We landed all right, and we were actually super lucky on this trip. Because no one robbed us on Tenerife, which is famous for pickpockets and shoplifters and daytime robbers, basically. I didn't tell mums about it too much, but those touristy hotspots are quite famous for that. And so we didn't have any bad adventures. We managed to fly back to the UK all right. And the day we left, the day after we left Tenerife, sandstorms started on Tenerife. So we were super lucky because we managed to escape 2 storms. Nice for all of you to be together. Yeah. And Vasi, it's quite scary. I don't know, maybe it's normal, maybe that's the way it should be. But you know, we both had our holidays on Tenerife, but we're missing each other. And our bodies were there in the sun, and our minds were back home. So we can't, I can't say we can't wait, but we are sure that one day we'll go to Tenerife together with Marek, and we will show each other our favorite places. That will be super interesting, to visit a place we know well, but we haven't been there together. It will be really nice to show each other our favorite spots. I didn't know that about Tenerife. Yeah, well, there are so many scammers and dodgy traders and people robbing you in daylight, in broad day. Not to mention being assaulted, you know, in the evenings around popular clubs and restaurants. It's quite dangerous. There are some dangerous hotspots, especially in the south. Playa de las Americas, Los Cristianos, Costa Adeje. These are like the most popular touristy hotspots, and that's why we didn't stay in any of them. Yeah, Tenerife is quite close to Africa. Yeah. However, I wouldn't say that only Africans, you know, it's not only people from Africa coming to, well, there are many traders, there are many sellers, beach you know, traders who walk around the beach with fake handbags and fake sunglasses trying to sell you stuff. And we went to the beach once and we were literally nagged every 10 minutes by those traders trying to sell us junk, basically. But people people from all over the world come, you know, to rob tourists in Tenerife. There are so many tourists, and I think especially British tourists, they are not used to the fact that, you know, you may leave the pub and someone will snatch your handbag, and especially after people had a few drinks. Things like that don't happen in the UK, you know, and people are not used to it. They are not used to being careful with their possessions, with their phones, with their purses and wallets, because simply things like that don't happen in the UK. Well, most efficient scammers on the internet are doing it from Nigeria. The internet scammers. Yeah, so you have to be careful. And don't take, you know, if you decide to travel to Tenerife, don't take any expensive jewelry or watches. Don't flash your phone and watch your handbag and your wallet. And internet is full, you know, Facebook groups are full of the stories of people who were stopped by someone and then they realized that they were robbed. They didn't even know when they lost a phone or a wallet. And the local police doesn't really do much. They don't do much. There are not enough police officers to police anything there. Anyway, we managed to avoid it. So that's lucky. Right. So these are my memories from Tenerife, ladies and gents. Now I'm back in the UK. Almost the same. And we will be back to work when we meet for the next live next Sunday. We will be back to work. We start work on Saturday, so we still have a few days off to enjoy ourselves and to do nothing, to enjoy the park, and then we get back to work after 2 months. That will be a bit of a shock. Luckily we don't start at 6:30 in February. We will be starting at 8 o'clock. It was good to hear all those memories. Thank you Damian. Quite subjective. Quite subjective, but I think all in all we had a good time. Even though I was missing the boys, I was missing my boys, but I was trying to make the most, you know, of the time there. And moms were happy. That's the most important, you know. I know that I will be on Tenerife sooner or later. We'll get there with Marek. Hopefully for longer than a week. It's such a beautiful and diverse island, and despite of little things which annoy me there, like the rubbish and scammers, dodgy traders, people who don't use indicators, people who can't drive on roundabouts, probably that's it. So the list is not very long, but there is so much to see. And what's fascinating is the difference between south and north in terms of weather, landscape, climate, plants, everything. It's like two islands. Yeah. So luckily there are a few national parks, a few protected areas. So despite my concerns with mass tourism, there are many conservation areas, so hopefully the local people will manage to protect their heritage and not build hotels everywhere. Sounds like Stoke for drivers. Okay. Yeah, you really have to have eyes, you know, around your head, and you can't trust anyone on the road. Anyway, ladies and gents, I had all my water almost, so it's probably time to say goodbye to you. Thank you for popping in. Thank you for listening to my stories from Tenerife. Next live stream will be very, very different. We will probably tell you what it's like to get back to work after 2 months. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you for comments, for reaching out. Thank you for your likes. And again, if you couldn't be with me tonight, if you couldn't take part in our live chat, you can still ask questions or share your thoughts in the comments and watch this video on any other day when you have a minute. Thank you very much and see you in the next video. We publish videos on Wednesday afternoons. It's ready and the next video is there waiting for you to watch on Wednesday. And I will see you at 7 p.m. on live stream in my working week. Thank you very much and good night. Bye.